Reimagining Chapel. My name is Amanda Esco, and I am the Director of Religious Education for the First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City. Thank you for joining us today. Let's start by lighting our chalice. If you have a chalice at home, why don't you go grab it and come back here with me? One thing that you may not know, but maybe you do, is a little bit of the history of how the chalice became a symbol for the Unitarian Universalist Association. Well, one of the stories of this history comes from World War II. The symbol came from the Unitarian Service Committee. Now, they were working on helping refugees flee Europe during the war. They were also working with different peacekeeping organizations. They needed a symbol for their secret documents to get through the enemy lines. They asked a refugee artist to create a symbol, and they chose a chalice. A chalice is a flaming cup that holds the light. As we enter this week, this new week, let's hold this flaming cup to hold the light of peace for us all. We light this chalice for peace in the spirit of understanding. We gather together in community to learn, to grow, and to serve. Let's begin today, after we've lit our chalice, by taking some moments of stillness. This has been a big news week. There is war happening across the seas in Europe and Ukraine. The images are heartbreaking. We have lawmakers across our country, including the United States and in Utah specifically, who are trying to take away the rights of transgender youth. Let's sit for a few minutes in silence. I'm going to do our bell meditation today. So we've done this lots of times, but as we breathe in today, I want us to breathe in that intention of peace. So when I ding my bell, you're going to take a before I ding my bell, you're going to take a great big breath in. Then when I ding, you're going to let it out slowly as long as you can hear the bell. Are you ready? Deep breath in. Letting it all out as you breathe out your mouth. Let's do this 2 more times. Deep breath in through your nose. One last time. Deep breath in through your nose. Finding these moments of peace to ground us for all of the work there is to do in this one world we have. Now, speaking of this one world we have, how are you doing in it? This week is a lot for some people, and the people in your life want to hear about it. Let's take a minute to share our joys and concerns with the people at home with you that love you dearly. I'll be right here waiting for you when you come back. Thank you for sharing your joys and concerns with the people that love you so. This week, Miss Lissa is going to introduce us to our UU of the Week. Thank you, Lissa.
Welcome to UU of the Week. My name is Lissa Lander, and I'm the Religious Education Assistant right here at the First Unitarian Church of Salt Lake City. Today, we are going to learn about Florence Nightingale. She was born in Florence, Italy in 1820 and was obviously named after the city of her birth. She is most famous for revolutionizing the field of nursing in Europe, but she was also a pioneer in statistics and a prolific writer, focusing on public health, religion, and mysticism. Florence was born into a reputable and wealthy British Unitarian family. She received a liberal humanitarian education at home and later made a further pursuit of education and medical knowledge the top priority in her life. In fact, Florence Nightingale said she was called by God to learn everything she could about nursing and to save lives. She wrote, "God called me in the morning and asked me, would I do good for him alone without reputation?" She honored this calling by devoting her entire life to medicine and rejecting the traditional role of women at the time as a wife and mother. She ultimately also rejected her Unitarian upbringing after having a formative experience in the Church of England. However, Nightingale's writing and her actions actually point toward a Universalist point of view. As a nurse, Florence sat by the bedside of many people from all walks of life as they were dying. She spoke to them of a merciful God and universal salvation for all people. Florence cared personally for soldiers, especially in the Crimean War. She became famous as the Lady with the Lamp because it is said that she would carry a lamp and check on her patients throughout the night. She was even memorialized by Unitarian poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow when he wrote, "Lo, in that house of misery, a lady with a lamp I see pass through the glimmering gloom and flit from room to room." The Times in England said, "She is a ministering angel without any exaggeration in these hospitals. And as her slender form glides quietly along each corridor, every poor fellow's face softens with gratitude at the sight of her. When all the medical officers have retired for the night and silence and darkness have settled down upon those miles of prostrate sick, she may be observed alone with a little lamp in her hand, making her solitary rounds." Nightingale said that many of the soldiers were dying after their injuries due to unsanitary conditions. She used her gift for writing and statistics to bring attention to the need. In fact, she is credited with inventing a form of the pie chart, now known as the polar area diagram, also called the Nightingale Rose diagram, which is still regularly used in data visualization today. Florence improved sanitation by instituting hand washing and other hygienic measures, which greatly reduced the death rate in her hospital. Crimea established the Nightingale Fund, and donations poured in, which were used to start the Florence Nightingale School of Nursing and Midwifery. Florence also wrote books, which were used to train future nurses. Then, in 1857, Florence Nightingale became ill with depression and other diseases that were still poorly understood in her lifetime. She was mostly bedridden until the 1880s. But despite her illness, she remained a force for reform. And in 1883, Nightingale became the first recipient of the Royal Red Cross. In 1904, she was appointed a Lady of Grace of the Order of St. John. And in 1907, she became the first woman to be awarded the Order of Merit. It's not done yet, guys, so many awards. In the following year, she was given the Honorary Freedom of the City of London, and her birthday is now celebrated as International CFS Awareness Day. In 1910, Florence Nightingale passed away in her sleep at the age of 90. She called herself a man of action and definitely left her mark on this world. Thank you for joining me today to learn about Florence Nightingale, our latest Unitarian Universalist of the week.
Hi, let's see what's inside our Wonder Box today. I got it right here. Oh. It is a copy of the book, Just Help, by Sonia Sotomayor. Justice Sotomayor is a Supreme Court Justice of the United States of America. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States. Their job is to interpret laws made and to make sure that they agree with the rule of our country, the Constitution, and to make sure that our laws are fair for all people. It's an incredibly important job in our system of government. Justice Sotomayor also has a passion for young people, wanting to inspire them to see the inherent worth and dignity of all people and to encourage people of all ages to engage in their communities to make them better through service and social justice. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe deeply in the ability of people to make positive change in this world. As religious humanist minister John Dietrich said, "If we live in a great impersonal universe with no friend to guide, it matters tremendously how we conduct ourselves, for we are actually the makers of human destiny." Therefore, he continued, our responsibility is to put beauty in place of ugliness, good in place of evil, laughter in place of tears, to dispel error with knowledge, hatred with love, displace strife and contention with peace and cooperation. We've talked a lot this year about how it's up to us as Unitarian Universalists to make the changes we need to see happen. Let's read Justice Sotomayor's book to learn about how the kids in this community are making the changes needed in their very own country and world.
Just Help: How to Build a Better World. Written by Sonia Sotomayor. Illustrated by Angela Dominguez. Each day when Sonia woke up, her mother asked her a question. How will you help today? Mommy was a nurse who helped people at a hospital every day. Sonia wanted to help too. So each morning, Sonia set about to have a good answer for Mommy's question. One morning, Sonia knew just how she was going to help that day. She filled 2 shopping bags with candy bars, warm socks, nice soaps, sunglasses, pens, and notepads. When Sonia boarded the school bus, the driver helped her carry her bags up the steps. "What's all this?" she asked Sonia. "We're sending care packages to American soldiers overseas," Sonia said. When Sonia got on the bus, not one seat was free. She did not know what to do. Then Booker and Sky waved to her. "You can sit with us," they said, squeezing together to make room for Sonia. "Thank you," Sonia said. At school, Booker, Sky, and Sonia emptied their bags onto a table in the gym. Many kids had shown up to help. For this service project, the kids sorted and packed the treats into boxes that postal workers would pick up later in the day. Kylie was extra happy to help. Her mom was a soldier in the army, stationed far away. Kylie missed her every day, but it made her smile to think of her mom opening one of the care packages. When she was done, Kylie gathered up plastic shopping bags and gave them to Brooklyn. Brooklyn loved underwater animals. She was upset to learn that plastic bags humans dumped into the oceans made sea turtles sick. When she read about a worldwide campaign to save the turtles, Brooklyn joined in to help. She started a recycling program at school just for plastic bags. After the service project in the gym, she had a lot more bags to add to the new recycling bins. After school, Gabriella and her brother Lucas went to the playground. There was trash everywhere. Gabriella thought about the recycling bins. "Let's make today a park cleanup day," Gabriella suggested to the other kids. They all agreed to help. Afterward, Lucas took a piece of chalk and wrote in big letters on the ground, "Keep our park clean. Please do not litter." When Jasper got home, he saw that his room was a mess, just like the park had been. As he cleaned up, he found brand new toys that he had never used. Jasper decided to donate them to the children's hospital. Jasper remembered that when he was a patient there, he always felt better when the nurse brought him to the playroom. He wanted to help kids who were there now. He brought the new toys next door to Maya because her dad worked as a janitor at the hospital, and he could take the toys to the playroom. Jasper's kindness reminded Maya that she had something special to give away too. She picked out her favorite shirt from her clothes drawer. Maya loved it, but she knew someone who would love it more, especially today, her friend Simone. Simone stood on the corner with her dad and her brother Miles. It was election day, and they were campaigning for their favorite candidate for city council, who promised to build more schools and playgrounds. When Maya gave Simone the shirt, Simone was thrilled. "It's just like a sparkly American flag. Thank you," Simone said, and put it on over the shirt she was already wearing. Simone and Miles were handing out flyers to everyone who passed by, including Samir and his mom. "Mommy, it's election day. Did you vote yet?" Samir asked. "No, I forgot," his mom said. "Well, let's go vote," Samir said. "My teacher said, your vote is your voice in the community." Samir wanted his mom to use it. The voting booths were set up in the senior center. As Samir and his mom waited to vote, they saw Kunal pushing John in a wheelchair. Kunal was there to help John vote. John lived alone, and twice a week, Kunal spent the afternoon at the senior center, visiting John and sharing snacks. "Promise me when you're 18 you will vote," John said as he stuck his "I voted" sticker on Kunal's shirt. "When I was young, I was part of a great struggle to get the right to vote. Now, I never miss the chance." "I promise," Kunal said. Later that evening, Sonia climbed into bed and her mother asked her, "Sonia, how did you help today?" Sonia thought about the service project for the soldiers, recycling the plastic bags, cleaning up the playground, and voting with Mommy. But she also remembered the bus driver who brought her to school safely, the postal workers who delivered the packages to the soldiers, the poll workers who guided voters, and her friends who helped in big ways and small. "We all helped each other today," Sonia said. As Sonia closed her eyes, she imagined that everything she did was like the yarn in the blanket her grandmother had made for her. It tied Sonia to everyone around her, even people she did not know, each one inspiring the next, knitting together a community that was safer, cleaner, wiser, healthier, and kinder. Like Sonia, her friends, and her neighbors, when we all do our part, we can all have a good answer to Mommy's question. How will you help today?
One way that people go about doing this kind of work is through social justice projects, also called service projects. There are 3 different ways: research, or learning about the issue; advocacy, speaking out publicly about an issue, like at an information table or a city council meeting, or a protest rally, or direct action, like a food drive or donating money. As we saw in Justice Sotomayor's book, everyone can and should work to make our communities cleaner, healthier, safer, and more equitable for all people. As Sonia in the book describes at the end of the story, we are all connected to one another, and our acts have positive and negative impacts on our world. Asking the question, "How can I help today?" centers our responsibility for the care of all people, animals, and our planet that we call home. So, how can you help today? Because there's a lot of work that we need to do. Thank you for joining us once again for Reimagining Chapel. To find out more about the work of the First Unitarian Church in the world, please visit us at slcuu.org. Until next time, though, let's heart out.
Each person is important. kind in all you do. 3, help each other learn. 4,